Hey, this is Stephen Hoskins, the lead software developer for the Land of Eyas. I am going to be showing to you the first 10 to 15 minutes of the Land of Eyas. Um, I guess right before I jump in, though, let me just quickly uh, give a shout out to uh, the other individuals who have made this project possible. Matthew Keel. All of the artwork that you see, like the text here for the Land of Ice, that was designed by Matthew Keel. Anything that looks like really intricate and takes weeks to complete, that was done by Matthew Keel. And by the way, it takes weeks to complete. It's pretty amazing what he does. Trung Nguyen, he does a lot of absolutely gorgeous artwork. I really love the coloring that he uses, his ability to depict action really well. So we got work from him in here, and then Mackenzie Kerman, who's actually an Adult Swim animator. He worked on Super Jail, various other cartoons that I've watched on Cartoon Network. So to get him on this project was pretty amazing. Also, Kristen Parker. She is actually a software developer, just like I am. I met her on my 9 to 5 job, one of my previous jobs, not my current one, and she was really interested in this, and she did some really neat artwork that I was able to integrate into this game, and it added a really nice effect. And then of course Carl Norton. uh, yeah, he's he's been invaluable to this project. He really has been. I Yeah, I wonder if this project would have even happened without him. Just him having the confidence in our ability to put this all together and to just go out there and get the interest. It's been pretty amazing. So I want to thank all of them. All right, so let me go ahead and jump into the game now. The Land of Eyas. So I'll just take this from the top. Okay, so this game is maybe I should have started maybe I should have started off describing some of the influences here. This game is actually influenced from a game called RGBDS, which is a game that was created at the University of Virginia. I happen to live in Virginia, and I actually went to Virginia Tech though, not UVA. But I had some friends who went to UVA, and they put this game together that was on the Game Boy DS, and it had like a little bear who's like jumping between screens, and I loved it. Like I just absolutely loved it. I had so much fun with it. I beat every single stage. I wanted to like take a screen capture every time I beat a stage and send it over just to show them, hey, I beat your game. Like their game was really extremely challenging, and so I just wanted to show them that I had the chops to beat every single stage, and I just loved it. And I wanted other people to just see how amazing that game was too. Apparently they entered that game into a competition, and they didn't even get an honorable mention. And I think that the judges were just totally wrong. I think what they had was something amazing, and so I hope I did them proud. Um, so yeah, that's the general background of this game. Okay, so the stage starts off. It's basically just a tutorial stage telling you how to play the game. I have an Xbox controller hooked up, so it's going to tell me to use the D-pad and the left stick to actually move around. If I had a keyboard hooked up, it would tell me to use key presses, things like that. So let me go ahead, using my D-pad to move around. And then once you get to this barrier here that you have to jump over, it will tell you to press the A button so you can jump. Pretty standard. And then, actually I was running already. The last thing I'll tell you to do is how to run. So you want to hold either the left or the right trigger of your Xbox controller, or both. And then, hit the D-pad or left stick and you start running. This stage, by the way, I got its inspiration from Astro Boy Omega Factor for the Game Boy Advance. That's one of my favorite games. I don't know many people who've played it, but I seriously love that game. I love Astro Boy. When you start that game, they have a tutorial stage that's just really simple, really basic. The graphics aren't like amazing off the hook or anything, but it totally served the purpose. It allows you to put all of your focus onto your main avatar, and to just focus you actually controlling your avatar, make sure you get the moves correctly. So that's pretty much it with this stage. Only other thing I'll mention about this stage is the music. Believe it or not, the background music. It actually came to me in a dream. It sounds kind of strange, but I was sleeping one time and I had this music going on in my head while I was sleeping. When I woke up, it was still there, and so I just wrote it down. So you get to hear a song here that came from one of my dreams. All right, we're gonna enter a portal here to take you into the actual game now. All right. Yeah, so the Land of Eyas is a tale about a lost boy who has no memory of how it is that he's got here to this world, and so he encounters this ancient tree here that's able to communicate with him. And this ancient tree, he's supposed to be like a paragon of wisdom. However, he maintains his memories in these seer stones, which he's kind of lost, and they're scattered all throughout all 4 worlds within this game. And so Eyas, the main avatar's name, he has to seek out, find these seer stones, return them to him, so that he can just kind of give him the complete story of like the complete history, the background of this world that he's in, and help him find the way to get home. So that text that you see that popped up there, press down to scroll. If you don't do anything, as soon as he starts talking to you, then it helps you out, telling you, push down so you can scroll. So I'll scroll through this. I pretty much already gave you the storyline there. So once you enter this world, the first thing you notice is that there's like a lot of doors. You can't seem to enter any of them though. However, this door doesn't appear to be blocked like the other ones are. And when you actually walk up to it, a nice little preview there pops up, whereas the other ones don't give you a preview. And if you walk away from that door they're supposed to enter, you might notice on the left side of the screen there, an arrow popped up. The arrow is giving an indication that you need to walk towards the left in order to actually get to the stage they're supposed to go to. So, pretty much you'll find out that there's only one door that is open right now, so there's only really one thing that you can do. First Fall. By the way, the title art that was just displayed there that said First Fall, I got the inspiration for doing titles from the game Braid. I really liked its use of titles. It helped whenever you wanted to talk about like a particular stage in the game, you could mention the title of that stage, and people know what you're talking about, and I really liked that. I thought that was really cool. So I had to get that in here as well. So as you can see, this appears to be a very simple stage, and it is. This is kind of like a Hello World stage. The main point here is just to expose you to this liquid gravity here. When you jump through it, it flips your gravity, so you'll start falling downward on the bottom half. You'll start falling upward rather for the bottom half, and you'll start falling downward on the upper half. And there are these what I call golden annuli, or it's a golden annulus. When you touch it, that completes your stage. And once you complete a stage, you're going to unlock other stages as well. Although, at this point you can see I have not found a Seer Stone yet. However, I am able to progress further in the game now as a consequence of just running through that stage. This next stage is pretty similar to the first stage. It's very, very simple. The main point of the first 2 stages is to just get you used to actually playing this game. A lot of people who aren't used to playing really intense, challenging platformers, I wanted to give them just a nice, easy way to, transition into the harder, more difficult stuff that they're encountering in this game. So yeah, that stage pretty much gave you the gave you a way to experience those blocks that you saw oscillating up and down. So you needed to jump on one of those to give you the height so you can actually get to the end. It's really simple. All right, so when I beat that stage, I now unlocked 2 stages. So once again, I still don't have any Seer Stones. There weren't any in the first 2 stages. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna jump into this stage now, and I'm going to see if I can find one of these Seer Stones. Alright, so this is the first time you encounter a stage that has a nice black silhouetted foreground. It's really cool, bright background. By the way, the influence for this stage came from World of Goo, which is one of my favorite games. I couldn't tell you precisely which stage it was in World of Goo that this was influenced from, but it was one of them. And I just had to do something similar. World of Goo, by the way, I think that was probably the first indie game that I played that made me say that I have to do this. I have to join the indie scene. Like, I just really dig what I see a lot of these very creative people out there. Just see what they're doing, and I had to do it. I had to make my own contribution. So that was really what got me into doing this game. So the stage is a lot more complicated than the first two that we went through. It's still, pretty small stage. Like, you can see the annulus on the right hand side that I need to grab, but a lot of people have difficulty with it because when they play it for the first time, they basically have to figure out that you have to get the right height in order to actually get to the annulus on the right hand side. And so, like, a lot of people, for instance, they might get stuck on this block here that's not oscillating up and down like really high, and so you're not gonna be able to get over there if you jump on that block. And so what you're supposed to realize is, yeah, you're gonna have to go to the middle one there, or the ones, these over here probably work too. You just have to jump off of them. You just need to, get enough height so you can actually get up there. So in this stage, look at that. You actually have a seer stone that you can grab, or what appears to be a seer stone. Maybe if you're a first-time player, you might not know what that is yet, but something just happened. All right, so touch the annulus. Alright, so if you look at the upper left-hand corner of the display now, you'll see that there appears to be this stone-like thing that you could look through, maybe a seer stone. So what happens is if you actually go up to the I call them the Tree of Ages Past, you now return a seer stone to him, and he acquires some of his memories as a result of that, and so he'll give you some of the background story, at least as much as he's able to get off of that seer stone that you provided to him. He lets you know that you need to keep collecting more seer stones if you want to get if you want basically for him to figure out how you're going to get home. Okay, so which stage should I do next? I'm going to... They're both good. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and jump into... Sure, I'll jump to the stage. Let's go for it. Grove. Alright, so for this stage, believe it or not, I actually got my inspiration from yin and yang. That sounds really strange, but I was trying to think of a way to do something that was kind of circular. I was thinking of, how there's black on one side, white on the other side, and you still have a little white spot in the black part and a little black spot in the white part. That's what I was trying to do here. I'm not going to say that I was entirely successful at it, but that was what I was going for. So you'll find in this stage that there's a seer stone here that you just can't seem to get enough height. You just can't seem to reach it. But maybe that platform in the middle there at the very top, maybe if I was able to get on that platform, it would give me the height that I need to actually get to that seer stone. So I'm now jumping on a platform that's kind of similar to the one that I was trying to point out earlier. And you find that if you jump off that platform, it gives you enough height, look at that, to actually get to this platform. And so you're supposed to kind of realize that. So now I try to jump off of this platform. Oh, almost missed that. That would have been embarrassing. Alright, got my seer stone. So the other thing you'll encounter along the way is there are these tree spirits you can talk to, and they'll give you more of the storyline as well, and they'll also tell you about some other aspects of the game. One of the tree spirits that you encounter tells you about these dragonfly that are scattered throughout, and that you need to return them to the dragonfly sanctum. I don't know if I'll get the chance to show you that stage. Alright. Okay, so I'm gonna do one more stage from this world. This world rather, gets just increasingly more difficult. Once you get to the final stage of this, it's a really, really neat stage. Has its own unique music, um, and it's much larger and more complex than the rest of the stages in this particular world. And I feel like that's where the game really starts to get exciting and starts to get you interested in, ooh, what's next? And what I'm going to do for you right now is I'm going to show you one more stage, show you some of the dragonflies that's just talking about, and then I'm gonna I'm gonna show scenes from future stages in this game, because what's really neat about this game is as you jump into some of the newer worlds, newer mechanics get introduced to you to keep the game from going stale. They have completely different style of music, they have completely different artwork set, just everything just completely changes on you. Just keep things going, just to keep things really exciting. So I'll just do one more stage here, and that'll be it for World 1, and I'll briefly go over some of the other worlds that you encounter in this game. Monkey Temple. Alright, so there's a dragonfly. So in this game, like I said, there's a tree wisp that you encounter who tells you about these dragonflies. He says that they'll follow you as long as they have confidence that you know how to actually get to the Dragonfly Sanctum. At this point in the game, you have no idea where the Dragonfly Sanctum is, and even if you did know where it was, you're unable to get to it. So there really isn't anything you can do at this point with the Dragonfly, because pretty much any stage that you could enter right now would not take you to the Dragonfly Sanctum, and so the Dragonfly will not follow you. So as an example, I'll walk into this stage, and he's gone. He left you. So once you get more and more completed with this game, you can get the Dragonfly Sanctum unlocked, and you'll be able to start returning dragonflies there. And you of course get an achievement if you do that. And so these are cool things that have been added to the game in order to increase replayability. And actually, the Seer Stones, those you do not technically have to collect if you don't want the storyline. Which would be difficult for a first timer, because the storyline tells you what you need to, so you can actually progress through the game. But if you wanted to, you technically don't have to collect the Seer Stones, and you could go back in order to get more achievements and collect those Seer Stones. So they're also there to actually provide you with replayability. And one other thing that's been added that you may have noticed for replayability is if you look at the upper hand corner of the screen, there's it's keeping track of time. And on there's one time that's, you know, incrementing. The time to the right of that's the time that you've got to beat. That's your time goal. And so if you are able to go through all these stages and beat all the time goals, then you get a speedrun achievement for that, essentially. Alright, so this stage is the first stage where you encounter a key, which is pretty cool. Just go ahead and grab that key. Oh, another thing. How could I have not shown this? The other thing that you encounter for the very first time are hazards. I didn't even bother to jump on them. So, yeah, you learn real quickly that these crystals here, they will kill you. One more time. Okay. There are other hazards that you encounter throughout the game. There are saws, which that was influenced by Super Meat Boy, which is one of my favorite games of all time. I really love that game. Other hazards, you can off-screen that will kill you. You can get crushed. Those oscillating blocks that you saw in one of the stages, if you get underneath if you're standing on a platform and there's like a block falling down on you, it'll crush you. Those sorts of things will kill you. Alright, that's it for World 1, and now I'm going to jump forward in time and show you some of the other worlds, just so you can get an understanding of the other sorts of exciting things that you get to encounter when you play the Land of Eyas.